What is going on? Drew, it's been too
What's
long.
Yeah, we back. Oh, I'm just getting my my posts up here. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Few Podcast, where we're going to be talking about all the latest and greatest Web3 news, and do our usual deep dives and rambles and rants. So yeah, we're back at it, ready to roll, kicking off 2024.
Yeah, man. How was your holiday? I saw you a little bit. I saw you in Miami. You came here.
Yep, I got to Miami, got to stop at the Taub's residence, had a monster barbecue. That barbecue was good, dude.
Yeah.
Barbecue.
We don't joke around. We take our meats very serious here.
And you're getting better. Like, you're getting better and better.
You know what? I have a new trick. I gotta be honest. I learned it from my father, Ruby G. And so the trick actually is you first smoke it at like 250 for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like any just meat, as long as it's a little thick. It can't be thin. And then you take it out. Instead of using any oil or anything, you actually put a layer of mayonnaise on the top and the bottom of it, and then you put the spices on top of that, and then you try to cook it at the highest temperature possible, and then it gives it a nice char. Like the mayo gives it a nice char. And yeah, anyway, that's there's some cooking. You didn't know you came to a cooking show today.
Yeah, you guys all jumped into a cooking show. All right, let's kick it off. Nifty Island's open beta. First topic. AJT, what you know about Nifty Island's open beta?
Yeah, so Goblin Town and Illuminati were both partners for it. There is a goblin character that people can play as. Yeah, so they made it. Actually, it's funny enough. I Caesar kept, every time they would like make an announcement, Caesar would DM me. He's like, reach out to them. Like, we should be there. And I did, and I kept hitting them up, and they just wouldn't respond to DMs. And then I just switched to the Goblin Town account, or maybe the Truth account, and then I DM them from there, and then they respond in seconds. Like, oh, we already have a goblin that we made. And then I got on a call, and I really like the guy Charles, who's one of the co-founders, and they're just being very thoughtful about it. They're building a metaverse. It's sort of ready to go. They didn't sort of launch anything until it was ready to go. I started to play around with it a little bit. It's fun. I think, and maybe it was my computer, because my computer feels pretty laggy these days. It's tough when you're like a browser-based like metaverse.
Is it weird that like I feel like my computer's been really laggy too? Is it like we just can't handle like these computers?
It means a new computer is coming for you to buy. That's what's happening.
I just bought it this year. I mean, like, this is ridiculous. Like a year ago. It's like not even.
By the way, we don't have it on the list here, but we should talk about the Apple Vision Pro. Did you order yours?
No, I didn't order it. Did you?
Yeah, I ordered mine.
So it's the first time
one to rock, one to stock.
I
putting one in the vault.
Yeah, I hear that. I respect that too. So I have my speaking of that, like I have my Solana phone. I haven't even opened yet. I don't know. I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing with it. At this point, I'm just like letting it stock. But it would be nice to probably do.
Well, now there's isn't there like a whole second? Is it the same one, or are they making a whole new one?
No, in 2025 they're gonna have like version 2 come out, so they're doing pre-orders for that now. But yeah, I just like it's like over too complicated for me at this point to even like dig into, so I'm just holding and stocking it for now. But yeah, I mean, like I always buy these gadgets. Like I bought the
you were Mr. Google Glass.
Totally, I have Google Glass.
You started a company around Google Glass.
I have the Oculus right there. I just bought the Rabbit, the AI device they promoted at CES. I don't know if you saw that. The $200 Rabbit device where you just talk to it. Anyway, I love tinkering, but listen, $3,500 for a device that I'm just like, I haven't figured out enough uses for it yet. I'm just like struggling with it.
So first of all, like everyone's doing the payment plan because like there's no reason to spend. You could pay $300 a month for like 2 years.
All right, yeah, I mean that's different. But I was about to say because like $1,500, I would have bought it already, and I would have bought 2 of them. It's just like $3,500 is just a lot for a device that like.
They made 80,000 units, and they think they're selling 400,000.
Wow,
good, dude. Awesome. They made like a few billion dollars. They made a few $1 billion already.
Listen, I'm thrilled. This is like
it's weird. A lot of people aren't building on it yet.
That's why I haven't. That's why I didn't buy it.
There was like who announced like Spotify and a few others said they weren't building on it yet. Honestly, I think it's everyone who I know who's used it and played with it is like this is a game changer. So yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's expensive, but I feel like it's worth it. I'm getting mine next weekend.
Okay. Wow, that's soon already. I
But
didn't
now
realize-
you can't get it in February anymore. Like now it's March, April. So the
Yeah.
first day or two of people who ordered are getting it next weekend. It comes out next Friday.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I don't know, man. You
I'm
don't want
really
to go
excited.
see it. You don't want to go see a Knicks game with me on
Yeah.
the
No, just
courtside in Apple Vision.
I'll probably get one soon. I'm just like, I want to see the first wave of users' reactions from it, like the real mass users, as opposed to like the ones that we hear about on the that create videos of it, etc. But all right, let's go into.
But before we go to the next one, just in terms of
Yeah.
Nifty Islands Open Beta, they have a token, like I think it's Island token. I think
Is that out?
it's not live yet. No, people are basically like playing the game. If you're one of their launch partners, you're getting like a bigger allocation in the game, and in of the token. It's like it's an ecosystem token, and the thing about it is like if the ecosystem's good, token will do really well. If the ecosystem is not good, it won't do well. And so I like the team, I like the enthusiasm, but you never know with this stuff. And the way I approach it is like we should just be everywhere. Because we don't know who's going to win. We don't know who's going to be the leader in this.
I respect that. I think that's the right way to approach it right now. While there's still a lot of exploration to be done. Yeah, I mean, I was actually just going to talk about quickly. But let's go into SEI and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rise of SEI. So I've actually had so for me personally, I had an interesting discussion this week with the leading NFT marketplace on SEI, which is called, I'm blanking out right now, Palette Exchange. So I don't know if you guys, anyone has dabbled.
I saw it.
Yeah. So I was on Palette. I have a couple NFTs that I've been actually like eyeing on the Palette Exchange. So I'll mention a couple quickly so like everyone's probably aware of this because of Beanie. Beanie's been going ham on SEI. It's probably taken a pretty decent sized position. There's a few projects that I've been watching. WeBump was one of them, which I thought could be, and I like the WeBump one specifically because the team is like a real group of builders. They've built some real infrastructure and protocols and some interesting stuff. So that to me was an interesting one. There's one called The Colony that I've been following, Seance. So there's a few NFTs that are starting to come up. And from what I've been reading, and a lot of the information I've been getting about this is actually from Beanie and just like general people I've been following in the community, is that there's the volume's been rising. I think we hit about 500 in NFT volume yesterday on SEI's NFTs. So listen, here's my like general thesis on this type of stuff. I think this is a nice little window for that. I think we're all kind of riding the Solana coattails right now, which is basically like the alt exchange, like the alternative layer 2s and layer 1s are having their moment in the sun. Personally, my opinion is that as an investor, if I put my investor hat on, like I think it's a really interesting time right now to be looking at the application layer, because I think that the winners of the infrastructure game happened already. Like the big investors that won are the ones that got in 5 to 7 years ago. And now we're starting to see the maturity of those with Solana and SEI and some of the other like, Polygon and, all these other different layer 2s and layer 1s. And it's becoming a race to the bottom because their block space is becoming cheaper and fees are disappearing. So as an investor, although I think like the in thing is to ride the big main blockchain tokens, and that's where the big gains have happened over the years. Personally, I think we're almost ready to enter into the application phase, and I'm really excited for that period because I think that's going to get really interesting because that's when we're going to have real customer adoption.
The funny thing is, I think that the application layer, specifically the consumer layer, is actually going to mostly happen on Base. That's a big bet I'm making. There's a lot of stuff that I'm working on right now across the board that it's gonna end up on Base. And the thesis around that is Coinbase has the biggest consumer crypto, audience right now. And it's just a really easy pathway from, Base to Coinbase to your bank.
But is there anything when you say you're making a big bet? I saw on the building side, I get it.
So we're building some stuff that uses that for the blockchain, the token, etc. Like there's a reason why Friend Tech took off in the way it did. It was just a really easy flow. Like even only girls were using friend tech because it was just like literally your bank to Coinbase to Base. There's a very easy flow. We don't take that into account because we have all the other stuff set up. Most people don't. And so I don't know. I personally think that people are sleeping on Base and how big it's going to be because I think it's tied really closely to the consumer stuff. And I've met some folks at Base and I've met some folks at Coinbase, and they're just like they're looking for consumer crypto, like blockchain applications. Very similar to more like Flow, and like, I would say that they're the closest thing to like the way Flow's approaching it. Whereas like Say is more like a Solana,
Agreed. And I think that like, so for Base, I think that they have a little bit against them because of the NFT marketplace failure they had. I think that's giving people a little trepidation on like getting excited about a Coinbase consumer product like this that's not in the wallet or like DeFi world. So I think they have a little bit of an uphill battle because of that. You know what I'm saying? That was a huge failure, and it was really high.
Oh, for sure. No, they totally missed the ball on that. But I think that don't forget that they have a massive audience on social media. They have a massive newsletter. They have a massive email customer base, KYC customer base, and they have the pipes, right? More so than anyone else to your bank. So I think this just makes more sense. Like NFTs never fully conceptually made sense on Coinbase. I think that there's really something here of like the application layer on top of Coinbase in Base, really. Anyway, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, let's rock and roll. I'm turning the lights on. Keep going.
How much you know about Palworld?
So I've been reading about it. I find it to be pretty like. I'm honestly like very excited about what I've read about it, simply because it feels like they've done something that like not many are able to pull off, which is like bootstrapping a high quality game.
Honestly, you're going to see a lot more of that, and that's mainly because of Unreal Engine and Unity. Specific, more so on a lot of people are moving off Unity. I should probably short Unity because honestly, everyone's using Unreal Engine to build games now, and Unreal Engine lets you build quality games quickly. I mean, only up. That was Unreal Engine. There was a 18-year-old developer in Kazakhstan built it in 3-4 months, right? So, and it looks like it's just one guy who did it. Like it looks like a whole team built that game. And I mean, listen, Only Up was a very, very simple game. This is a lot more complicated. Palworld. I mean, and for those that don't know Palworld has sort of been taking a storm. I think in the last 5 days, Palworld made $100 million. It's a video game, not crypto related. However, the founder of the game made a ton of money in crypto, but the game has nothing to do with NFTs and nothing to do with Web3 and nothing to do with crypto.
I didn't know it was completely disconnected from Web3. I thought there was a little bit of an element.
No, it's so yeah, this is I know they're looking into it for IP infringement. So Palworld is the way it's described is Pokemon with guns, which is just genius marketing. The funny thing is, in the actual game, it's not easy to get a gun. And for those that haven't played the game, it's actually not easy to get a gun in the game. There's a really great like you have to like do a lot of stuff. You have to like get wood, you have to get brick, you can build a house, you have to capture Pokemon, but you're like hitting them over the head with a club to try to, but you can't, like you kill them, but you try to like not kill them and then catch them in a ball. It's literally, and then there's like Fortnite loot crates. There's like every single popular game, there's like something taken from it. It's pretty amazing. There's a really funny video I'll send you after. There's a really funny like review video where this guy's like, okay, go open the Fortnite crate. I mean the Palworld crate. It's like, go catch the use the or catch the
Pokemon.
Yeah, to catch a Pokemon. I mean the Palworld. Like, and it just goes and it's like, okay, make a thing like or eat berries like Metal Gear Solid, or like make a thing like Call of Duty. Anyway, it's really fun. The game is fun. That's the thing. That's why it's exploding. The game is fun. And that's the first thing you need to do. But there is no crypto aspect to it. The founder made his money in crypto, in like recently in the last like 3-4 years, and he took the earnings and started the game, and that's how it sort of got kicked off. But I think the takeaway here is a few things. One, like the framing of your game, right, really matters. Being able to say Pokemon for guns, like I can even tell my wife that. I can tell my wife that, and she knows what it means.
I'll tell you, like right now, I'm my investment right now. So for those that watch the show from back in the day when we were doing it on Upstream, I was a big NFT Worlds guy. NFT Worlds, I got rocked on when Microsoft rugged.
I remember that.
I've stayed the course and kept following them. I sold out when Microsoft rugged them because my thesis changed, but I followed them and they've been continuing.
Microsoft didn't. By the way, Microsoft didn't rug them. They were just making a bet that they would be able to bring over Minecraft people.
No, Microsoft basically just changed their rules and added something on their contract saying now no NFTs can do anything with anything Web3 and blah blah blah. So they came out strong against them. But the reality is like, they did a great job and have started to rebuild their entire infrastructure. And they're now going to be building from the ground up a Web3 first decentralized Minecraft, like their own world, their own version, their own games, their own experiences, but it has compatibility. So people that have built stuff in Minecraft can port it over. It's kind of brilliant. So I've actually made investments. Both I bought a world, I bought a bunch of Topia token. I literally bought it this weekend.
You're back? You're back in?
And I'm also an investor out of the fund now. We put about $500,000 check in. So I'm like everything I've seen from them, I've been very, very impressed. And I think they have a vision. They've launched the High Chain, which is like their blockchain to support anyone building games on top of their infrastructure and their ecosystem. Because their whole vision is like, they want to be the ones that are going to say, hey, like, there's a future of games that it's not going to be these old traditional console games. It's ones that create incentives for creators to come into the game ecosystem and be able to create their own gaming experiences, be able to be compensated, etc. And they're leaning heavily into that. And it's very exciting. I love what they're doing. And it reminds me, like you just said, it's very easy to say it. Everyone knows very quickly, hey, you want to see the future of what Minecraft should be, this is where you go. And that's an easy thing to click with.
Yeah, no. The easy, and it's like the this for that, but it's not anymore. It's like it's this with that. You know what I mean? Like it's like the Airbnb for dogs, right? Like it's the X for Y. It feels like a lot. The thing that's changed with the framing is like it's X with Y, right? It's like Pokemon with guns. Yeah, it's like anyway. There's just something about that framing that's nice. All right, let's go to Magic Eden rewards.
Okay. Magic Eden rewards. They came out with the points announcement, right?
They came out with the points announcement, which is, I think, pretty clearly they're moving towards a token.
They also announced NFT DAO, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was them or that's like the structure of how it is usually when you're. I don't know if you've ever seen the flow chart of. Exactly, it's that. So I think that's how they're linking it all together. But yeah, no. Essentially, Magic Eden is making a big push into, they have an Ethereum marketplace coming right in time for OpenSea on the 29th is turning off, even if you have the operator filter, they're turning off royalties. They are not going to allow royalties. So for example, when we changed our contract, we've been getting royalties for the last 6 months. And just by the way, I did the math recently, basically made the money back in like a month and a half. For the amount of money we put towards airdropping all the holders, the new collection and everything, took about a month and a half to make the money back. So it was a pretty good situation in terms of like smart. Now it's funny, Blur lets you get so I don't know if people here know. So there's something called the operator filter. Operator filter is in your smart contract. What it lets you do is it lets you block exchanges. So you could say, hey, you can't list it here, you can't list it there. Now, there was an agreement between OpenSea and Blur that if you have the operator filter and you block all exchanges that have zero fees, right? So there's a few, I don't know if it's looks rare or one of those, X2, Y2. There's a few of them that have, if you block them, we will enforce royalties on your contract. And then, so that it was all, everyone was happy. If you had it, any new contract, you would ever. What ended up happening is, I don't know, it was a few months ago, OpenSea just came out of nowhere and they're like, yeah, we basically lost. And we're not going to, we are not going to enforce royalties, even if you have the operator filter for new contracts. And then we're going to keep letting it happen until February 29th, because this year's a leap year, and then it's shutting off. So there is going to be a mass migration on the end of February for any contract that has the operator filter. They're going to probably, if they're making anything even decent on royalties, they're going to start blocking OpenSea. And Magic Eden's coming in here. They made an announcement with Bored Ape and Yuga how they're starting and launching a marketplace with them, and they're kicking off their Ethereum, because right now Magic Eden is just Solana,
Yep,
and ordinals, and they're adding Ethereum. It should be launching at the end of February, and that was the whole announcement with Yuga at the end of last year. I think it was supposed to announce earlier. It was supposed to go live earlier, but they're still working on it.
That's a huge. I mean, from what I've understood about Magic Eden, that's their hugest push right now. They're all focused on that, on this launch of.
Because it's massive, because they're basically taking the golden goose.
Is it a new marketplace, or is it just adding ETH and Yuga?
It's adding ETH. It's adding ETH and basically having Yuga be the prize. The prize. The prize.
I don't know. Unless I'm missing something, they're adding.
And they're bringing everyone else over. What?
So they're adding a chain to Magic Eden. Why is this such a huge?
They're adding a chain because then what they're doing is they're bringing anyone who has the operator filter that comes over and blocks everyone else. They will enforce royalties. So that's the first thing. The second thing is and I don't know the details on this, and I'm half speculating, half some knowledge. They're working with Yuga to migrate contracts so that they can enforce royalties. I don't know if it's going to be forced. I don't know if it's going to be. I doubt they'll do forced. There's too many, decentralized maxis there. I think it's going to be more like reward you for moving, migrating your contract into a new thing. Anyway, that's happening. But OpenSea is losing Yuga. OpenSea is going to be losing a lot of other people, and I think it's sort of a death spiral. Blur's got their thing going with shitcoins, right?
So what is OpenSea? What do you think is OpenSea's like?
I've heard they're doing some gaming stuff. I've heard that they're doing they're doing with artists, but why would you trust them anymore after what they've done?
I mean, listen, they are still. I agree that they've made flip-flop decisions with no backbone, but they are still, in my opinion, the homepage of Web3. And I'll say it. They are the homepage of Web3. Whether they, and I was just talking to Beanie was talking about how Blur has 80% of the market. No, they don't. They have a bunch of people that are doing they have some big whales that trade heavily, but the users are still going to OpenSea. It's still a 70-30 user on a per wallet or per user basis is on OpenSea. So the majority of people and consumers are still on OpenSea. So that means that
when people take screenshots and they share that the floor is down really big for some project, it's always OpenSea. It's not Blur. But here's the thing. Also, the other thing I saw Beanie tweeted about, saying that Magic Eden's following, the enforced royalty, and that's a bad thing. I really don't understand. I get, when you're trading stocks and you want, if you had to give, 5-10% for every stock you traded, you probably wouldn't trade. My problem is how are you going to continue to get builders to build in Web3 if you're taking one of the most innovative pieces of it, which was this whole, secondary market that people can buy and sell, and you as a creator can continue to be part of that value chain. And if you remove it, I just don't understand what people expect. People are either going to just charge a lot more money from the jump, or they're just not going to be building in Web3 anymore. And they'll be all right, I have other places I can sort of do this. I just don't understand why some of these people who are anti-royalties, they don't see that.
I actually don't. I completely disagree.
I think you can get more. I think you can get more innovative and be all right, listen, you're paying X amount of royalties if you made money. You're paying X amount of royalties if you lost money. I think that could be you can get more innovative on that. But just to sort of kill royalties, what's going to happen? And what happened, by the way, with Magic Eden? The reason why I trust them a little bit more is for Solana. They made a new standard. I don't know if you know this, but they made a new standard for Solana, which was they worked with Solana developers and they worked with Metaplex or whatever. And what they did is they made a new standard that enforces royalty at the contract level. And so Ethereum has a few ERCs that, like ERC-R, I think is one of them, that enforces it at the contract level. And they're just not adopted really by the exchanges yet. But once someone takes a stand and says, hey, we're just going to enforce it by the contract level, that's it, then this is not even a conversation anymore. So at a certain point, someone will make that contract popular, or a contract that enforces royalties at the contract level popular, and then it just won't be a conversation anymore, because I think it's silly. I know technologically you can do it, and that's why like Blur did it, but it's still silly. Anyway, let's move on to the next.
Yeah. What else?
Pudgy. You sold your Pudgy. When we had Luca on, you bought it, and then I
did it. I think I timed it well too. So I grabbed. So I've always been in and out of Pudgies. Like, it's not my first time buying and selling Pudgies. Yeah. But when Pudgy was on Few with us, I immediately was like, all right, I like where his head's at. I think he's answering questions really thoughtfully. I bought one at exactly while we were on the show. I bought it at 7 ETH. And then it started to go bananas, and I was like, I wouldn't mind taking some profit off the table on this one. I had it listed at 16. It started riding towards that. I was like, you know what? Let me push it. Pushed to 17. Pushed it to 18. I ended up selling it at exactly 19 ETH. Which right now it's like right back around there. It's fell down a bit. Now it's at 18.6. But yeah, I think I sold it at a good place. If it dips again, I'd probably buy back again. I do think it's going to flip Bored Ape. The question is, does it flip it at 20 or 25? Like, does Bored Ape keep dipping? And does it flip it at 20, or does it flip it at 25? Because once it flips it, I think it'll dip again. I don't know if Pudgy's has a fully sustainable story yet, although other than it needs to beat Ape. That's about the story right now for them. And then once they come out and say, hey, we're dropping a token, I don't think that's happening. I know. And if they don't, then that's another thing. But like, again, we're giving Beanie a lot of props today. I'm going to see if he wants to join us on these shows. But like, he did, Beanie, I remember mentioning a while back that he was saying how like, or a little, actually not too far back recently, he's like, Bored Ape hit this number like in the 20s. And then when they mentioned it, when they started to tease Ape Coin, that's when it went to 80 or whatever it was. Yeah. So, if Pudgy starts to tease a token, I think that takes it to a new stratosphere. If it doesn't tease a token, then they have to come up with a narrative that, like every other NFT project has struggled to do, to explain how it's going to transfer value back to the end consumer. And he's talked a great game about keeping the IP and the NFT project at the forefront of everything they do, and that the community is first. But he hasn't laid out the exact plan of how that's going to be turned into value. And the token is the only way that we've ever seen it so far, really, other than maybe some scarcity and limitations and access, etc. But like, that's not something that we've come to see.
Yeah, I think at the lower levels that we were seeing, like when it was like in the 20 and 30K, you could probably make an argument that like licensing lifetime value could probably get there, right? If you can make an argument. I don't know if it's an accurate argument, but you can make an argument that listen, I know you're not on licensing, but I don't know what the numbers are, but the first 16 that they did, they got some numbers back, and apparently is better than what they expected. So I don't know what those numbers actually are, but imagine on a yearly basis, it's okay, this thing is worth actually X, because I know in 5 years I'm going to be making X amount of revenue from it. But yeah, listen, I think he's got Pudgy World, right? So he's got a universe. I don't know. There's probably a token play that could be there, but we'll see. I mean, I think, listen, I minted 5. I sold 4 of them when they were at 1 ETH. But that 1 ETH was like 4K, 1 ETH. So I was like, okay, I was happy. Like I made like 16 grand on like 4 Pudgies. I remember telling my wife, and then being like, how much do you think I sold this for? Because always love to play that game. And she's like, I don't know, like $20. And I was like, no, I sold it for 4 grand. And but I kept one. I still have one, and I have no interest in selling it. I think in the end of the day, I just want to stay in that community. And I've been thinking about that recently. I've been thinking about just like what communities I want to stay in. and what NFTs I like. So I started listing some stuff. I was like, I'm not really in this community. Like I listed a doodle at 5. I listed a cool cat at 3. I don't know if we'll get there, but
Sold
like
out of both. I sold out of
I'm
both.
not really in those communities. I'm not really active.
Nope.
The other thing, and this is controversial because you're gonna get a little bit, you're gonna be a little mad. I, for the first time ever, listed my CryptoPunk, a little higher than the floor, and I only have one, but I share one with you and a few other people, and I think I share the CryptoPunk with a few different people in a few different places.
I can't believe
and
you
I'm like,
sell your one CryptoPunk you own. I just think that's such a that's such a
listen. The floor is like 150K. That a CryptoPunk won't feed my kids. So I know that. Here's how I think about it. I'm like, I've been
half, and I'm like still I still want to accumulate. It's like Bitcoin to me.
Yeah.
Bitcoin,
Listen, no. I listed a little bit higher where the floor is, but I started to think, I was like, if I need to go to a punk event, I have a shared punk with people, so I can always go to that.
Yeah,
like, I have access to the community if I really want it. The thing I don't know.
It's the blue chip of Web3. To me, it's
for sure. It's not tied with anything, and it very much well be $1 million.
I really believe it. I truly believe it. Like I
also think in theory I could do more with the money to make more money than I could. I could be wrong, but I think I could trade that and make more money than hold it and make money. But whatever.
Maybe that's a big reach, but honestly, when you look at CryptoPunks, it's been able to manage. It's been able to stay stable throughout an entire downturn. It's now started to trend up again, just started, and we're not even in a bull run yet. And I think the CryptoPunks, again, I think as more and more people come into this space and the whales enter the market and the institutions enter the market and all this stuff that happens, where do you think they are going? And they're going to end up saying, I want the best, because that's what people do that are used to getting the best. And they're going to go and end up at CryptoPunks. So to me, I mean, I look at it as Bitcoin. Unless there is a true place that I feel like I can get more return on value. And as of right now, whenever I've traded Bitcoin, I've regretted it every single time in my life. The only strategy that's worked for me for Bitcoin has accumulate. And that's what I do now. I'll fuck around with other stuff. But Bitcoin and CryptoPunks is a game of accumulation unless I need it or think there is an immediate use of that money. And even then, I'd rather DeFi it, put it up, lend against it, borrow against it, etc., so I can keep my asset. So if it's liquidity you're looking for, to me, there's because it's a stable enough asset, it's the kind of asset you can lend and borrow against. So there is a lot of I think that because
but don't you have to pay that back somehow?
No, I mean, if you're borrowing money and you say you could trade better with it, then trade better with it and pay it back.
Oh, got it. Yeah, but if I don't, then I have more money.
Well, then you owe money, or you've sold your punk.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll see. I listed it. If it goes, I listed it higher than the floor. So if the floor gets up there, I feel like we're going to have ups and downs over the next few years. I feel like I could always just buy back in.
It's a hard thing to buy back into, though.
I know. Because it's oh wait. I'm going to spend 100. Yeah.
That money's going to move into a million places the minute you get it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it goes. There's no timing on the listing, right? It's just open forever on the CryptoPunk site.
It's open, but I have one. I have 3 of them, or 3.5 of them. So I have one listed on my half because my partner wanted to sell. I have it listed 80 something, and if it sells, I guess it sells. But I would have bought it out. I told him a million times I wanted to buy it out at a discount a while back, if I found someone else who wanted to take them over. But I'm long.
Oh, you offered it. You offered it to me, I think, a while back.
Yeah, I did. Okay, let's talk truth with AJT.
Yeah, truth with AJT. So we're doing these little sections where you can just talk about your own stuff or whatever's going on. For us on the truth side. So yeah, I mean we've been I think a lot of people here, and I listen to the comments, I know, we've been purposefully quiet, and by the way, Jackie, we can make these shorter so that we can get through it. Yeah, we've been purposely quiet for the past while. And we're very close within the next before the end of February, and way before the end of February, but before the end of February, we will finally be able to start talking more freely, start to move the story forward, start to when I say, like being able to talk more, it's like we've been building up a lot of stuff, and we decided to just hold it all for bigger announcement versus like drip, 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 drip. I find that after doing enough drip, drip, drip over the past 2 years on things, I'd rather just like launch the thing and have it just like go live when it's ready. But I think we're also going to change a lot of our like cadence and like communication with the community. We've historically been very like, we don't talk about stuff. We're sort of quiet. A lot of people are, maybe feel in the dark. And I think what's going to change is after some of the stuff that comes in February, we're going to just be a lot more open, a lot more communicative on sort of where things are going. And it's definitely like putting us in a different like feeling, meaning like we're just like, it's not how we normally have done stuff. But I think it's time to sort of take this stuff to the next level. So that is the truth with AJT. Probably in like 2 more of these events, I'll be able to talk a lot more in detail.
Yep, no doubt. All right, Degen with Drew. Let's talk about what's going on in my world. All right, first, let's see. Am I buying anything? Recent purchases, NFTs. I yesterday bought a Hytopia World, as I mentioned. So I just put an offer in at 2.25, and I scooped one. So that worked out well. I think now the floor is 2.8, so I got lucky. I didn't get a rare one. I would love to start to like build up again, but I'm still like, it hurts so much because I had like 13 of these and I had them like so long and I took such a huge bath on them. But like now I'm coming into it with fresh blood. I'm also investing and etc. And I really love where they're headed. But from a world's perspective, I just don't have the liquidity to start buying up 10 worlds again like I used to. But I did get a world, excited about that. I also bought up a bunch of the tokens, so that's another thing I'm locked in with. I bought a bunch of little Pudgies. I just thought like, hey, these are interesting assets to like enter into the Pudgy ecosystem. And when people start to see that these are, but that they want to get into Pudgy, like you said, but like they can't get in at 18th floor, I think these will be 3.5, 4 in no time. So to me,
the
little Pudgies, to me, I was just like an easy play, low risk. I got in at 1.4, 1.5. And
that's a good bet.
Thank you so much. And I see it going to 3 ETH easy. Then from there, what else have I been buying?
By the way, did you buy a rubber?
No, I wanted to. The price got a little high on it pretty quickly. I'm actually looking at it. What
I dropped it in one of our. Oh, it's down, dude. You can buy.
What'd you get it at?
I bought it at like 12, so it's at 9 now. It went to like 18, 20.
But now 18. All right.
Yeah,
I'll
it's at 9. Honestly, but it's like a really thin floor. So rubber is the new. They're saying it's like the Fidenza of Solana.
I'm gonna grab one right now. I think I liked it.
It's pretty.
That's one I wanted to get. I like that one. What else? And then I've been.
By the way, and that's the thing about Solana is like, I feel like because of the fee stuff, they can wreck your floor so fast. Because there's no gas. I don't know. I've been playing around a lot with Solana, and I find that people could just they just could tank the floor so quick. You own like 20, you could just right away.
Yep.
And it feels much more than on like Ethereum. I don't know. And maybe this is my gut feeling, but it's just something I've been sort of seeing.
The thing I've actually been buying the most, which is not anything different than you guys would expect from me, I've been loading up on Top Shot. I'm just excited about it as all hell. For those that have been paying attention, they have their first rare rookie packs coming out soon, which is like this
trying
is
to get a Wemby.
Trying to get a Wemby. I have a couple of the common Wembys, and I don't know if I've ever said it here, but I bought the #1 mint for Chet. So I bought up on that one. I got the first mint for Chet on his rookie. So I've been making moves there.
Wait,
and
like #1, like the #1
mint number, like the first mint.
Wow.
Wemby's debut. I mean Chet's debut, first rookie debut moment, #1 mint. So like that one I'm holding long. I'm very excited about that purchase. You guys know I also bought a LeBron Cosmic. I've been loading up. I just think that everything I've seen from them has just been really, really top notch. They're just executing at a really high level. The buying packs is now almost like a guaranteed profit at this point because there's a secondary pack marketplace. So you could buy a pack and then immediately flip it in the secondary because there's always more demand for the packs and they sell out every time. So, I'm gonna try to buy as many of these freshman gem packs as I can. I'm also a big rookie collector. So like I collect rookies and debuts. That's like where I really spend my time. So I'll flip the other stuff that I get during the seasons, like these alternative sets, like the dunk set or the playoffs or whatever. Those don't get me as excited. I like rookies. I like debuts. That's kind of where I focus. So I'm buying a bunch of that stuff. They came out.
Anyone big that's debuted recently? Like, have they gone like with the Jordans of the world? Has Jordan come to it yet or no?
No, not yet. I mean, who knows when that'll be a massive day when they do, but it's going to be cool. Oh, I actually
they were. I'm pretty sure they were working on it. I remember them
literally just now.
Did you open a pack, Degen? What did you say?
No, I put in a bunch of bids. So I'm also in the process of trying to complete the Series 1 base, like the common Series 1 moments. I want to complete that set. I have about 240 out of the 270. I've been like every day I buy a few more or I put bids in and just let's see if they hit.
Insane.
And I just landed the Steph Curry debut moment at a pretty good price too, at three like 30 or something. So that one I'm pretty excited about. So I got.
What are you missing? What are you still missing? What's the big ones you're missing from the base?
From the base, I'll take a look right now and tell you, not much. I mean,
that's the Series 1 base.
Series 1 base.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to complete that. That's a set that I'll hold for. I want to hold that set. It's a long-term play for me. So I've been trying to complete that set little by little, and I'm right now at about, let's see, I have about maybe 30 left out of 270. If I look at the set, and something also just to keep to bring on people's radar around the flow and Top Shot. I love Fast Break, their game. I play it every day. It's so fucking hard, but I've been getting my ass kicked. I feel like I know basketball really well. And maybe this is why I lose in betting too, but like I just have not been hitting. Like it's basically like an over-under props game, but you have to use your moments. And I have a good moment collection, so I have a pretty good arsenal to be able to use. I very rarely am running out of moments until the very end. But like it's been there hard challenges. Like yesterday, I missed it by 3 rebounds. I had to pick 5 players to have over 55 rebounds from my moments.
Should have picked Cat and Embiid.
I got screwed on Nurkic, I think. I'll tell you who I picked right now. I picked yesterday I'm getting my ass kicked on this one, but it's really fun because you can win packs if you hit certain milestones, which is really cool. Because all you're doing it's very quick. Like for 5 seconds, I'll sit there, I'll choose my 5 players for the night, and then I'll have something to look at the next day. Yesterday, the goal was to have 5 players hit 55 rebounds. I crushed it on Jared Allen, 12. Wemby, 12. Gobert, 16. And then I had Duren and Nurkic, and they didn't hit the numbers for me. They only had 8 and 5, and I got screwed. So I missed it by 2 freaking rebounds yesterday. So I got to get 4 wins to at least get the minimum pack. I was hoping to get a rare pack, but I'm not going to get it this time again. But it's a lot of fun. They're going to be putting this game on chain completely. It'll be the biggest, most active played game on the blockchain to date. Isn't that crazy? The whole game is going to be on chain, on Flow. And because there's so many users that are playing it every day, I mean, there's right now 3,100 people in this one on this leaderboard. And that's like meaningful players. Like, again, everyone underestimates Top Shot every time while it keeps selling out every pack. But it is also just a matter of time again, guys. Keep your eyes on it. We've seen it run before. Right. Possible. I think it's going to come again.
All right. I believe you, Drew. Buy my I still have a Cool Cats full set. You want it?
Maybe. I don't have any of them.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, I never.
Right.
Again, I told you I focus on rookies and debuts and Series 1s.
All right.
All
right. Wilder World Zine review.
The Wilder World Zine. So Wilder World is crushing. I got to tell you right now, guys, that is one of the most exciting projects to pay attention to follow. If you're sleeping on Wilder World, I think you're missing, in my opinion, the most bullish and ambitious project in Web3. Like I speak to these guys all the time. I'm just so blown away by the work they're doing. So like right now they've introduced the game Wilder Wheels game. There's a certain group that can play right now. They're going to be opening up that alpha, expanding the alpha at the end of Q1. So now they're going to have another batch of people coming in. But what's so cool and what they've spent so much time on, and I know because I literally smoked a joint with them and we spent the night talking through this shit, like literally hours just discussing it because I get lost in this shit, is like they're building out the economy of this world in such a fascinating way. So like, for example, if you to have a car, you're going to need, like, it takes gas to drive for gas. And you start to think about things in terms of like, what does compute cost? Like, what does it cost to live in the digital world? And if you start to like really put tangible cost to things like, hey, this designer cost more, this piece of memorabilia, this collectible, this thing, everything has a base cost. We don't think about that on the internet, but things have cost to it. So you start to think about like, if you're going to participate in a world, it's like owning property in a world. You pay rent, you pay a mortgage, you buy the property. There's expenses to living in society in a human world. There are expenses to living in Wilder World, but there's also a lot of ways to gain. So they're just doing the work that they're doing right now. They're building out like different types of, they have like the cafe. They talk through like there's going to be like an automotive shop where you'll be able to buy upgrades for your car, especially if you get it in the races. If you take on too much damage in the future, you'll be able to get it repaired and upgraded. All of this is going to be using their wild token. So that's really, really exciting. They're working on the first art museum. They have the Whack-Donald's, which is going to be like a place where like people can work and get jobs and earn. So like you'll be able to like check in, work at these places in all these different types of venues, earn for your participation in their economy.
It's the Sims with a token.
It's they're building a digital world. Like it's a digital world. They'll have dealerships. They're going to have theaters. They're going to have music. They're going to have entertainment. It's really, really fascinating and well thought out. And then I love the component of Zero Tech, which is the other token, Meow. I'm a big holder. I've invested in both Wilder World and Zero, and I just doubled down on Wilder World through my fund. So I have we've put about like, from a fund and syndicate perspective, about 2 million into Wilder and about 1 million into Meow, the Zero token. I love Zero. They launched their worlds, for those who don't know, which is basically the social infrastructure of Wilder World. So you'll be able to create your own chat rooms, your own social network. It's like basically a social network that's completely and utterly decentralized. So like you own your followers, you own the network. You can create token gated social chats, etc. So between Zero and between Wilder World, like listen, at the end of the day, this is the kind of stuff that I want to support. Like why I love what Hytopia is doing and why I love what Wilder World's doing is they are not afraid of Web3. They're not like, I'm going to be Web 2.5, because they are going to lean into the future and be the pioneers. And whether people are there now or there later, they are going to be building this for the audience that is here today, that appreciates it, and then the audience that comes over the long term that realizes that these are the best in class. So like these are plays that I'm really excited about. And I just think that they've done a really good job. They're getting good early metrics from their game. They're getting some great feedback. So check out the Wilder World zine, check out some glimpses from the game. I'm excited because I think the land drop is not too far away. I think that's going to come soon.
Yeah. It's interesting. And they're definitely like, there's a bunch of schools of thought. So like building product, right? And like one is like build something small, get, traction, then expand. Mm-hmm. They're taking the approach where like, we're going to build the thing, and it's going to be big, and we're going to just wait until people want to, you know what I mean? Like,
you're incrementally they're going to be building in public. They're updating along the way. They're releasing things in batches. They have the game now. Like they're going to show the progress along the journey, but they are working backwards. You're right. They have a vision. They have a North Star, and it is a massively ambitious North Star. So we're gonna have to see to do that, you need think about OpenAI. OpenAI, no one did it. No one heard about them for about 5 years. Which, like, if you think about what's his name, Altman, he said it's actually the exact opposite advice I gave to everybody over Y Combinator all those years. I was like, release fast, get it out in the market. If you're uncomfortable, you've waited too long. With OpenAI, which is now his most successful fucking company, he actually did the exact opposite. He waited for years and years until it was right.
Building it for years until it was ready.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, at the same time, Facebook started off as like little social network for college students, and then built and built to build. Honestly, I
Yep.
don't think there's a right or wrong way to build. I think it's a situation.
Depends on your project.
Type of
Depends
thing.
on it honestly depends on the ambition and the initiative. Like, I'm not going to tell you if you're building.
It's also time. It's also timing and market, right? Like the timing and the market was there for both of those things, right? So like the timing for Facebook was like college students were looking for something that wasn't MySpace and their where their family was. You know, with OpenAI, like honestly, I think OpenAI would work in any market. To be honest, just because it's magic. All right, let's go to the last two things. All right, so Copium Cometh. So a lot of people. Hold on. So a lot of people know about it. Some people don't. Copium was a project that we helped. Whoa, that was a sound there. We helped get off the ground, or mainly I helped get off the ground from the truth side. But it's not our project. It's a group of people in the truth ecosystem that sort of are running with it. Their Solana NFT project. It's had the launch was a little I don't want to say murky, but basically there's a big problem with like Solana and when people who normally make stuff on ETH go to Solana, some things they maybe didn't anticipate. Anyway, a lot of it got botted. So it took like a good 24, 48 hours for the bots to sort of get out. And now the thing is sort of like leveled at between like 1 and 2 SOL. And one of the things that's coming is a token, a Copium token, and something that they're calling the Copsino, which is like a casino thing. So I have some information on it, but it's not. I think it's coming in the next week. I think around the like first day or last day of January, the first day of February. And there's a few interesting things that I don't think I've seen anywhere else that they're trying. And I'll talk about them quickly in the last minute or two that we have here. The first is the token. They're spreading the airdrop over a year or two. I think it's a year or 2 years. And instead of doing like I don't know if you saw Judas's report. Everyone should read it. Six Man Ventures did a report. His research guy did a report.
Yep.
It's I'll share it around, but it's basically a report on tokens and like successful tokens and what they look like and unsuccessful tokens what they look like. And one of the things is like when you do a massive airdrop to people, like most of the time it ends up killing the token. There are times where it doesn't, where like demand outstrips, that sort of like sell pressure. But most of the time when you do a drop, or I think the number is if there's a 1% unlock, that materially affects the thing. You have to try to stay under like 0.5% unlock at any given time. And so the thesis around this is basically unlock it weekly over like a 2-year period so that there's never really a massive sell pressure when a token's getting unlocked. And one of the things that they're taking it to the next level, and something I think is really cool, is they're basically saying, okay, there's 3,500 NFTs in Copium. I'm giving fake numbers, but let's say there's every week you're supposed to unlock 100 tokens per NFT. It's like 350,000 tokens that get unlocked weekly. Great. And maybe that's worth X amount of dollars. Who knows? Doesn't matter. So to be eligible to get your unlock, you need to opt in. So you go to the Copium site, you opt in, and then what ends up happening is if you opt in, you get your 100 tokens. If you tweet about opting in, say, I just like opted in for my weekly Copium, opt in here, you can share in the tokens for the people that didn't opt in. So let's say 50% of the people opted in this week. 50% and 50% of them tweeted about it. The 50% that didn't tweet about it, like they lost their allocation that week, right? And they just come the next week and they can opt in. That 50% gets shared by the people who shared. Sorry, that 50% gets distributed to the people who shared that they opted in. So imagine you're coming in, you're getting 100 tokens, but now the other 50% is coming. Now you're actually getting 200 tokens this week. So it's sort of like a PvP, token unlock thing, which I think is really cool, and it adds like a whole like sort of social component and like competitive angle to it, because the only way you get to share is if you tweet about it. And if you tweet about it, you're sort of getting the news out there, and you don't really want anyone else to opt in. You want to be the only one who opts in, because then you get everything. So there's a little bit like a prisoner's dilemma around this stuff. So that's something that I think is really cool. We'll see how that plays out, because it'll be sort of unlocking over time. The other thing is the Copsino. And the information I have right now is there's basically two pieces to it. One is they're calling it a mystery ball. Sort of like, think, like the ball that like a bingo ball that comes down when you like do the thing. So every week, I think it's either every week or every 3 days or every 72 hours or some time frame, you'll be able to get a free mystery ball. And you open that mystery ball and you get either Copium, like the token, you get Copium NFTs, you get other NFTs from the Solana ecosystem, or other meme coins. And you're always going to get something in your you get a weekly or every 3 days, you get something. And then you could pay $5 and you can get think of it as like a premium mystery ball. Think of it as like Pokemon, not with guns, but the basic ball, you get the great ball, the ultra ball, whatever. The $5 one comes with like basically premium prizes. So it's like, I don't think you're like guaranteed to win, but I'm pretty sure like you're at minimum getting the amount back in Copium. But you can win, pretty big stuff. So it's basically adding like a casino FOMO social gambling aspect to it. And I think it's going to be cool. So that should be coming out in the next week or so. And you should just be on the lookout. We'll talk about it maybe next week.
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a great meme coin concept with a little bit more fun and utility to it. Like,
they're trying to be a little bit more than a meme coin, because I think they, the team there saw all these meme coins. Basically, the shelf life for a meme coin is like 72 hours right now. So it's like, how can we make this more sustainable? And this whole sort of like casino angle and this whole like sort of PvP stretch over time started, is interesting. They did a private token sale. I think it was like 250K that's in there. I think they're maxing out at like 350, so it's still a little bit open, but it'll be closed the second sort of they go live. And that I think the idea around it is like, can you be more? It's not hands up. The idea there is it could be like it could be. I forgot what I was just saying. But anyway, the point is, I think that there's something. Oh, okay, sorry. It could be more than a meme coin. I think the meme coin thing just makes it have a very short shelf life. You can count on your hands the successful long-term meme coins, and even the successful long-term meme coins, they mostly look like they've all gone to Goblin Town. Where even Doge and Shiba and Bonk and everything, maybe Bonk less than others. Anyway, that's that. I know we both got to go. Let's just finish up. Yuga Gaming. They announced that they're releasing Dookie Dash to everyone sometime, I think, in Q1. I've been saying they should have done this from day one. The second that they ended the thing, they should have been opening up to everyone. It would have been the biggest game. I think the biggest sort of miss from Yuga is that could have been their
biggest Yuga is they literally they've done nothing with their community and their IP, although they were like the representative of all PFPs. Like, to me, you can't hire a gaming CEO and then forget where you came from. That was just a ridiculous move.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but here's the thing. The Dookie Dash was a fun game that people who held apes were playing and talking about it, and they were hiring professional gamers and everything. And that moment the game ended, they should have been ready to go mainstream and let anyone play the game. The community benefit, and that was honestly, I saw this with Only Up, which was, the reason why it went viral, besides for being a really fun game and simple game, is we had a rabid fan base of goblins who promoted the shit out of it and got every streamer to play it, right? And that just sort of expanded from there. And so the end result here is essentially that you take a Web 2 game and you have a Web 3 financially incentivized community to become ambassadors of that. I mean, that thing will explode. Maybe Dookie Dash will do well right now when it goes mainstream, because all the apes will start talking about it. But they may have missed the moment. And I know that they're opening up this whole like creator generator. The last thing I'll say about this, I thought it was a really big missed opportunity. They have a bunch of default skins, right, that you could play as, and they're like all new characters. They're not owned by any holders. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, this is like, you could have licensed a few, even if they're big names in the community, you could have licensed a few, made them a little bit of money, and showed the licensing path also.
This is where that lack of knowledge of Web3 is showing.
Yeah, it felt very corporate, like, oh, we're going to use like characters that we just made up, new, like this ape and this and that. I mean, I guess playing as Jimmy is like pretty standard, but they just had an opportunity here, and I don't know. I'm just I'm not super confident that like there's a. I think they'll be successful. I don't know that my apes will be worth much if they can be very successful, and we're sort of like left out in the dark. So, you know, I should have followed Goldberg when he sold his at 80. I feel.
Yep, I sold all my a long time ago. I got out a while ago. Yep.
Well, feel really dumb. Anyway,
all right,
dude, good catching up.
Guys.
Always fun
Everybody,
doing this.
We're back next week. We're gonna keep it rolling like we do usually weekly.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right, here, guys.